Hey guys, Crow Cooper here with On the Black, and I am joined by John Delcos of NewYorkMetsReport.com. How you doing tonight, John?
I'm doing fine, Corral. How about yourself?
Doing good. Nice, exciting win by the Mets tonight, and they came back again, like we were saying before I started recording. This team, you could find a lot of things wrong with them this year, but one thing you can't fault them for is they just don't quit.
No, you're right, exactly. There's been Met teams in the past, recent past, who've had more talent than this team, but I don't think there's been one that's played with more heart or more intensity or has had more resiliency than this team right here.
Yeah, and this team they've been around 500 all year. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries. Where are they right now, I guess, record-wise to maybe where you thought they would be during spring training? Are they where you thought they would be, or a little bit better, a little bit worse? I mean, what are your thoughts so far?
They're better than I thought they'd be.
Oh, wow, okay.
Quite honestly, I thought they'd be a sub 500 team this year by perhaps 10 games going into the season. Knowing that they didn't have Santana, they probably wouldn't have Santana. Knowing the question mark around Jose Reyes maybe being traded, and also the question mark about Carlos Beltran's health. So there were a lot of issues with this team, not the least of which was Jason Bay, and I think they've exceeded expectations by a long shot. And one of the things that you made a comment earlier offline is that it's easy to get excited about a team like this when your expectations aren't as high as they have been.
Right. And you touched on Beltran a minute ago and about the year that he had this year before he was traded. I was actually surprised that he was actually able to get out there and play every day. But when you look back at Beltran's career here with the Mets, I mean, how would you grade it? Do you think it was a success? Do you think it was a failure, or somewhere in between?
Oh, it was a definite success. I think he's arguably one of the best position players the team has ever had, and that takes into account Darryl Strawberry as well. He was a five-tool player. I don't think he got credit for as much as he deserved. Mm-hmm. The first year is always a tough one in New York. He had a rough time, but let's face it, the man played with a broken face after the collision with Mike Cameron, and he didn't beg out of the lineup. The last couple of years, he's been hurt. The Mets management didn't handle his knee injury properly. They dilly-dallied on the surgery. They procrastinated on that. It enabled him to come to camp behind schedule and to start the season behind schedule. They did not do Carlos Beltran any services. I think he's more than earned his money here with the Mets.
Gotcha. Now, the guy that's taking his place right now and getting a shot to really show what he can do, if you will, is Lucas Duda. I talked about this on my blog that, I think, Duda's getting a good shot here to see if he can be, the right fielder of the future for this team. I mean, what are your thoughts on Duda? When he first came up earlier this year, he didn't hit for power. He started coming around a little bit, but, he struggled here and there. I mean, what do you think about Duda as a player?
Well, I always felt he would hit some power because he is strong as a bull. Unfortunately for him right now, he's being played at first base.
Yeah.
Because of the injury to Daniel Murphy. But next year, with Beltran gone, that's a shot that he's going to have to learn how to play in right field. That's his position. And he's not going to get that opportunity right now, unfortunately for him. But I would like to see him get a lion's share of the at-bats from here on out. And I think a lot of issues are going to have to be resolved in the next couple months. One, what's Ruben Tejada have at shortstop?
Right.
And secondly, is Angel Pagan going to be a leadoff hitter?
Yeah, and that's my next point that I wanted to talk to you about, moving over to center field. Pagan, I guess in a lot of Mets fans' eyes, had a surprisingly good year last year filling in for Beltran. There were higher expectations of him this year. And, he was injured at the beginning of the year, but he's disappointed, from a stats perspective overall this year. What do you think is the real Angel Pagan? Was it last year? Was it this year? Somewhere in between? And do you think, is he really still going to be the center fielder of the future for this team?
Well, I think he has to be the center fielder for the future because Fernando Martinez has not proven that he can stay healthy. So I think they're going to give Pagan a shot to earn the center field job again next year. He has regressed this year, Corral. Mm-hmm. I expected a lot more from him. I thought he would take another step forward, but he hasn't. His average is down, his stolen bases are down, and his power numbers are down. And he's also not playing as well in center field defensively as he had last year. And I think part of the reason for that is because he's worried about what's happening at the plate. He's taking his offense out into the field with him. Because of the way the team is constructed right now, there's no alternative but to give Angel Pagan another shot next year in center field. I don't see them moving Jason Bay to center field on a full-time basis.